What's going on, guys? John here from The Real Talk. Finally back with a movie review for you guys. And I have been doing reviews, but I just did all 8 Star Wars films, so it's kind of nice to get back to reviewing a normal film, and especially a film like this, which is, of course, The Shape of Water, directed by Guillermo del Toro. And man, I can tell you right now, guys, that I was so excited for this film. Guillermo del Toro is one of my favorite directors working today. He's done Hellboy, Crimson Peak, Pacific Rim, and my favorite out of his filmography to date. And this one might be giving it a run for its money, but Pan's Labyrinth, of course. But yeah, The Shape of Water, I was so excited for it. Like I said, trailer hit. I as a trailer, it was good. It kind of didn't really hype me up, but I was so excited to see that this movie was really doing well. In festivals and stuff like that, and really happy for Guillermo del Toro as well. But yeah, guys, it's obviously doing well in festivals because it's a great movie, and I can say that now. I highly recommend it for you guys right off the bat. Please go see The Shape of Water if you have not seen it yet, and if it's playing near you, because I know it's in select cities and stuff like that. But this movie's phenomenal, guys. It's just from everything. I tweeted out when I got home that everything from the cast was phenomenal to the score. So let's get a little bit into the cast. I think there has to be some Oscar nominations here for, of course, Sally Hawkins. She was phenomenal in this film. um, she was just really great, and she does the whole ASL sign language thing. I just said it, but and she got a little bit of backlash because I guess that community was like saying, what, they're not really portraying how we really do it and stuff like that. But I'm not sure if excuse me, if they really, if they've seen the film now, like if it's the same or different, But for me, she did a really good job in the performance overall. Um, yeah, and she was really good. So I think most likely, I feel like they're gonna give her a nomination for that. But another standout, like as always, guys, Michael Shannon for me is just a phenomenal actor. One of my favorite actors working today, and I feel like he's underrated. I feel like he should have got nominated last year for Nocturnal Animals for Best Supporting Actor, and yeah, but he was phenomenal as the villain. And man, they really do some cool stuff with him. He kind of just embraces that whole villain like really good, but at the same time, in the movie, I feel like they do some things different with him, kind of making you kind of feel for him. You kind of making him kind of like they bring him home and stuff like that, so you kind of can tell what kind of life he has, But at the same time, he kind of I love that he kind of just pursues more. He wants to be that top gun, that top guy, and he's trying to please his higher ups and stuff like that. But yeah, Michael Shannon, he did a phenomenal job. And another, I feel like Michael's not going to get nominated because Richard Jenkins, man, he was just so good in this film. Um, you have to nominate him for best supporting actor. He just did a phenomenal job, and they did some really interesting things with his characters. And normally, well, I don't want to say normally. I don't want to get into that little debate or little topic. But yeah, I was just surprised that they decided to go a certain way with his character, and it didn't bug me or anything. I was just, oh, okay, cool. Um, you just don't expect that from like films. Like they don't get that deep within these characters and their psyche and how they do things, and it's so really. There was one scene in particular that I really liked, and like when that little moment happened, again, no spoilers. My audience was like, I was like, well, you can kind of tell, and it's, I really like that moment too because it sets up, his character and the other person at the diner. That's all I'm gonna say, or yeah, at the diner. But I really like that scene. But overall, Richard Jenkins just knocks it out of the park in this. Octavia Spencer, she just does her thing. I always feel like she's funny and everything, but you can kind of that's the thing about this movie that I can say that Octavia Spencer, she did her like role that she always does, like in supporting role. She's funny and stuff like that. Like this earlier this year, pretty sure she's been in a lot of stuff this year. But earlier this year, she was in Gifted, starring Chris Evans, and I thought she was really good in that as well, a little supporting role. But the thing about this film that for each character, even the supporting characters, they have like a nice little, I don't want to say arc, but they have nice little character development moments and stuff like that. And throughout the whole like first few scenes that Octavia's with Sally, I'm forgetting their names. I think one of them's I think one of them was Zelda. I think, and the other one was Elisa or something. Not sure. I should remember these characters' names, but and I was even talking to myself about the movie on the way home, and I remember their names, but now I'm just blanking. But even in the beginning with those two characters, you can kind of hear Octavia in the background where Sally's doing her thing. She's in the background just talking about her like husband, stuff like that. And, kind of comes full circle at the end. That was really nice to see, but yeah, and even Doug Jones, I feel like he's just one of those actors you don't really know that he's like in that role. But I think he did a great job for what it's worth. You can't really see that he did a performance like facial wise. Obviously, but overall you can kind of he did a great job because of that. Like he was, I was gonna say real quick too. That I don't know. I think he was in a practical suit. I'm not sure. That's another thing about this. If they have like visual effects like CGI, it was really great because I was just thinking it was real, like a practical. Because Guillermo del Toro, obviously, he uses real practical effects and stuff like that. He's what can I say? How could I say? He really likes using them. So and then thinking about it right now, it was like his suit CGI a little bit. I don't think it was, and that's amazing if it wasn't. But anyways, Doug Jones did a pretty good job. Michael Shannon did. Like I said, the whole cast. I really like the cast and their characters and stuff like that. And that's the thing, characters. That. So Guillermo del Toro, we could talk about him. He's just phenomenal in this film. He doesn't star in it, but he just knocks it out of the park with everything with the story and the way it's shot too. The cinematography is beautiful. The score, I really noticed the score in this film, and I believe his name is Alexander Duplass or not Duplass, Desplat, I think. Not sure how he say his last name, but he did a phenomenal job on this. I think he did some of the Harry Potter movies, and he's worked with forgetting his name, but he did Moonrise Kingdom, and he also did Mr. Fox, Mr. Fantastic Fox, I think. I'm forgetting the director's name, but he's one of my favorites. But the composer, he's done a lot of good scores, and this one's no different. So I've noticed the score really early on too. In the cinematography, obviously, Guillermo was a visually, he focused on visuals as well. You can tell his previous films. But in this film, I think, sometimes I gotta say that he kind of gets carried away a little bit with visuals. Maybe that's what like Pacific Rim. I enjoyed Pacific Rim. I own it, but a lot of people say it's kind of not up there for in his films. But yeah, guys, just overall, I don't know what else to say about the movie. The score was great. Cinematography, the directing, the cast, the story itself. I had a great time at the theater. That's something I kind of didn't really expect, from these movies, because I love watching movies, and these type of movies for me like more Oscar-ish movies. I guess they're really great films and stuff like that, but you don't find yourself at theater kind of like having fun, I guess, unless because these are more like darker films and stuff like the more serious films, I should say, more drama driven films. But this one was a little bit different. I was having fun following these characters in this journey and stuff. So overall, guys, if I had to rate the Shape of Water, I think I have to give it an 8.5 out of 10. It was just a really great movie. It seems like I'm giving a lot of movies 8.5 this year. Looking like when I look back at my scores, but there's just one scene real quick that just kind of came out of nowhere for me, and it was kind of involving like some singing. I just thought there was a lot of great stuff, little character details and stuff like that. A lot of great stuff in the movie, with Richard Jenkins' character and his paintings. Just a lot of stuff I really loved about this movie. But I don't know. I just feel like at the end of the day, like I just didn't really kind of, I don't know. I'm thinking about that scene way too much, but just that scene kind of took me out, and so I think that's a good score in my opinion. It's one of my favorites of the year. So yeah, if you guys have not checked out this movie, again, I highly recommend it. But if you guys have seen the movie, let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section down below. As always, guys, you guys can follow me outside of YouTube at The Real Talk with 2Ks on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, guys, I'll see you at the movies. Later.